Hi there, I'm Kaylee,
I'm Shay,
and we're tackling some big debt.
and the Big Apple.
You may have some idea of what we're going to talk about today. Last year, I had these very kind of broad annual goals that I liked to check on every month.
Yes.
So I had a monthly check-in on those annual goals.
Mm-hmm.
And Shay had a different idea for this year for something that might work better for her brain. And this brain is also involved.
I work in the short term.
She works better in the short term and with goals that are achievable from start to finish in the course of a smaller amount of time.
Yes. If I can't check something off, like, what's even the point?
So we decided, I get it, it's fine. So we decided to do some monthly goals this year. So monthly fun little challenges.
Yeah. And they're going to be a little bit different every month.
Yeah.
And I think it'll be nice to sort of change focus on different parts of our budget with some amount of regularity. And these are goals that I feel much more motivated by because they are short term.
So we're not going to be like limiting ourselves in the same way every single month.
Yeah.
So it's not going to be like, there's a few people out there like Becky and Michael from the Good Midlife Crisis and Midlife Money Moves who are doing a no spend or low spend January.
Yes.
And Shay was not on board with that.
That I can't do.
I pitched the idea and she was not on board. I think it's because it's just so general. It's just like, just don't. And that worked super great for some people. Personally, for me, it probably would have worked really well for me too. But for you,
I do poorly when I try to restrict myself in a general way in any part of my life. I prefer to focus on small things if I'm going to be removing them from my life. I prefer to kind of switch my focus so that I'm not, thinking about how put upon I am and all of that stuff. It just, I don't know, it helps a lot if I'm focused on different small things.
Yeah, and I think the specificity helps.
Yeah.
So instead of just, we're not going to spend money, it's going to be about certain categories in our budget or saving for something specific for a short amount of time.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to be very helpful.
Yeah. Also, if I can make something feel like a game that I can win and wave a flag about.
I think it's important to recognize, though, if something's not going to work for you, finding something that is, and then achieving the same result. We're still going to be saving money and elevating our lives and focusing on the things that matter to us, just like Michael and Becky are doing the No Spend Challenge.
Yes.
We're just augmenting it and doing it in a way that works better for you and doesn't feel as oppressive to you.
Yes.
It's the same. And also, we're going to be using the same tactics and doing a lot of the same things.
Yes.
But
they're going to be spread out.
Reframed in a way that works for us.
Yeah.
And that's fine. Do what works for you to make progress on your goals. Throughout the presentation, you may see some little icons that look like these. You may be wondering to yourself, what could they possibly mean? And it's just a little indicator. I get paid weekly, so every so often I have a 5 paycheck month where I get paid 5 times.
And I get paid bi-weekly, so every so often I have a 3 paycheck month where I get paid 3 times in a month.
And those are just good times.
Yes.
And yes, we did manipulate those months and put goals in them that would benefit from being in those months.
Because that makes sense.
Just makes sense.
It makes sense.
Playing the game to win, baby.
Yeah.
We have broken out all the challenges. We'll go over them month by month. We are currently in the month of January, so we got a little head start. And we've been doing one of these all along. You just didn't know about it. So let's take a look at January. We're doing a January Minimalist Reset.
Yes.
Why?
Well, because we don't consider ourselves minimalists.
Nope.
But I think there's certainly a threshold at which we start to become a little bit focused in the background on the amount of clutter that we have surrounding us. And so I do this regularly. I kind of do this at the beginning of every year anyway. But I like to just go through my stuff, and I have several areas of my life that I usually try to hit at least once a year during January. So this is the time of year when I clean up my clothes and I make a pile of stuff that I'm going to donate, or a pile of stuff that needs to get fixed and hasn't been fixed yet, and stuff like that.
Through the whole house, top to bottom. Do I need this? It's very Marie Kondo. It's very, does this bring me joy? All right.
Cool.
We just said all of that.
Yeah, we did. We are resetting our home.
Everything.
Yep, everything in our home.
How will this be helpful financially?
I have an answer, but do you want to go first?
No, if you're ready, you shoot.
It's all about allocation of brain power for me. So generally speaking, if I kind of know what clutter feels like to me. And if I have clutter going on in my space, that it takes brain time in a way that I'm not always cognizant of it, but it does affect my ability to make decisions and like really focus on stuff in other aspects of my life. So for me, the reason that this will be helpful financially is not necessarily that we're going to be saving any money, but it puts me in a much better headspace to be using that brain power that would be going to, oh no, my house is cluttered. I can now shift my focus and use that brain power for making financially sound decisions.
Making any other, doing anything else.
Literally doing anything else. Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you?
For me, it's, I have had a dramatic shift in just like my financial life over the last few years. And so it's a really great way for me to kind of recenter in the intentional changes that I've made. Mm-hmm. So like I have made the shift from buying something because it is 100% necessary and I need to get the cheapest one right now to buying items of quality and things that matter to me. So it's a really good way for me to go through and just like take stock of the things that I have and it's a good way for me to check in with myself and remind myself that there are not things that I need. So I don't have to keep feeling like I should go get something to fill that.
Yeah.
The January reset, while not technically a savings challenge, mm-hmm. is a great way to kind of set our mindset up for the rest of the year. And that is January.
That's January. February.
This was Shay's first challenge idea.
Yes. What are we selling? We are going to be selling all of the things that we are letting go of that have some kind of value to potentially someone else. Mm-hmm. So we have trinkets, we have, like organizational tools mm-hmm. that we don't really need anymore because we don't have as much stuff. A lot of clothing that, just doesn't fit us the way that we want it to and will probably look great on somebody else.
Yeah, or I have a lot of clothing from when I used to work out in the world. Mm-hmm. I had a very specific dress code for work that I no longer have to follow. Yep. So I have a lot of clothes that are in great condition that mm-hmm. I just don't need anymore. What are we doing with the money that we make?
Take 3 guesses what we are doing with the money.
Are they the student loans?
Yes.
The student loans?
Yes.
And the student loans?
Yeah.
Any dollars that we make in our side hustle selling, which, you know what? It could be 20. It could be it could be minimal, but we're still going to try and see what we can get and just like dedicate the time and energy because I think that's why we haven't done this in the past. When we get rid of things, New York City is a wonderful place. You put something out on the curb and if somebody wants it, they take it.
It's true.
And so we've usually just kind of done that because the time and effort and energy to go into selling things, we just didn't want to put that energy forth. Mm-hmm. But now we're trying to pay off these dang student loans. So let's see what we can do about it.
Yeah.
So that's the focus for February.
Yeah. We're going to see how much we can make. That's extra.
$1 million.
No.
March. Guess what March is? Double! 5 paycheck month for me, a 3 paycheck month for her. Extra double paycheck week. Is what that, a full extra double paycheck week?
It's going to be a magical month, the month of March.
It's going to be crazy.
And what we are going to be doing with this magical extra money on the month of my birth is we are going to be trying to save some money to fund my Roth IRA.
So let's go through the questions here. What about Kaylee's Roth IRA? What about me? I know you're all just punching the air like, why? Mm-hmm. I have a very generous employer match through my job. Mm-hmm. And I get to put money towards my retirement accounts every single mm-hmm. week. Shay is an actress in New York City. And
this is the only retirement account that I have.
Yeah, she has one retirement account. And you may hear a little more about my Roth IRA later. How will we save?
Our goal is to stay as much within our budget as per usual with the regular amount of paychecks that we get on a regular month, and then use as close to all of the money from both of the extra paychecks that we get and put it toward my Roth IRA.
100%.
Yeah.
We currently are putting $75 a month toward Shay's Roth IRA in our regular budget, so this will be on top of that.
Yeah.
And if we, focus really hard on make sure there's no overspending for real this time, and just really focus in and stay within the confines of our regular monthly budget, which might mean saving a little bit more on groceries than we usually would because we budget weekly, but maybe if we try to stay within the 4-week amount of money and stretch it a little longer, or maybe we also make sure we don't go out as much, and just a few little things here and there, a few good choices, and then we can have, if it's a full, like a true double paycheck, almost $2,000 to put towards Shay's Roth IRA, which is a huge chunk and really bumps up the possibility of maybe even maxing it out this year.
Yeah.
Which would be crazy
that
and
would
amazing.
An absolutely bonkers thing.
Like being able to max it out this year was like a pipe dream goal that we had, but we would love to do that. Yeah. So
it would be so super awesome.
Super
March
awesome.
is also going to be a really good time to do this because you and I are both going to be busy as all get out. Yeah.
But we're excited about this one. You can cut it short. All right. April. No eating out. What constitutes eating out?
Okay, so we have 2 separate categories where food that is not groceries is normally paid for. One is date night and one is eating out. So we are not going to cut out both of those categories, just one of them, just the eating out category.
Yes. What do we currently budget for this? We budget $250 a month towards eating out.
Yes.
And that, again, is not counting date night. It's not,
counting fun money that we personally spend if we want to go out with our friends by ourselves. It's not any of that. And see, if I was trying to do this for a whole year, no way.
No, you couldn't do it for you.
I'd be done by February.
You'd be over it.
But because it's just April,
we have a start and end date. So I really think we can do this. I feel really good about it.
Yeah.
All right. Where is the saved money going? That potential $250? I'll give you 3 guesses where you think this money is going to go. It's going to the student loans. You may notice a theme that if we're not saving for something specific, it's going to the student loans. So yeah, this feels very doable to me.
Feels like a month where our Costco membership is really going to come in handy.
Does it count as groceries if it's a Costco hot dog? Drop a comment below.
Whoa. May
is a 5 paycheck month for me.
It is.
Which is very fun and exciting.
Yep.
This one's called Wyatt Savings Boost. A question you may be asking yourself is,
who is Wyatt and why are we saving for him?
Wyatt is my cousin's son. So technically he is I looked this up earlier. He is my first cousin once removed. But I know it's very silly. But yes. me and my cousin grew up together. We are more like sisters than cousins. We are very similar in age. She's just slightly older than me. So Wyatt is, for all intents and purposes, my nephew. How will we save?
Pretty much the same strategy as before.
All that stuff we said.
We are going to try very hard to stick to the budget that we already have set up for a regular month where we only get 4 paychecks, and then take as much money as we can from that 5th paycheck and put it towards
the Wyatt savings category.
Our little savings category that we've got set aside for him.
All right. What is the overall goal? So let me actually pull this up right quick. We talked about this recently in a budget with me a week or so ago.
Yes.
And we saw Becky from the Good Midlife Crisis do, she has a savings category for her nephews, I believe they are, and she saves their age every week. So we have started doing that super recently for Wyatt. So I have this I'm just going to bring this whole thing over here. I did math. Well, I had the internet do math for me. And so for saving his age, he is currently 8. He's turning 9 in March.
Oh.
And so we would be saving his age a week until now. And so technically the catch-up amount that we'd be looking at is $1,508. That's not, it's fine if we don't get that. That's a lot, especially because that's not how much my paycheck is going to be. But it's kind of fun to be able to boost it up. And at the very least, we could catch up for the beginning of this year.
Yeah.
And if we could save up enough to get caught up, it's amazing. And if not, it's also totally fine. Yeah. But we just wanted to boost that up a little bit to what it is, to what it would have been had we started a little earlier.
Yeah.
And that's May. June. June is the betrothal challenge. If you've never heard of the betrothal challenge, it's where you're too busy getting married in the month of June to do a finance challenge. What? We can't. We simply cannot.
Yes.
We're not going to cut out groceries when we're also trying to get married.
Yeah.
So is this a financial challenge?
Technically,
no.
But it is a challenging thing that we are attempting to accomplish by end of day, on the day of our betrothal, not having gone over budget.
Mm-hmm.
Based on what we initially set out to do.
Yeah.
It's a difficult thing.
Yeah.
It's a difficult thing to do. And that is kind of, if you want to call that June challenge.
That's our June challenge.
That's our June challenge.
Our absolute max budget for the wedding is $15,000. We have just under $8,000 saved right now, feeling good about it. 10 is our absolute, we need 10. So we're going to hit that for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, if we can get out of June 21st without spending $15,001, we're calling that good for June.
Yeah.
All right. July.
Mm-hmm.
This is our grocery spend challenge.
Yes.
This is a challenge I think I pitched and you had to accept because it's more you than me because you're the grocery master.
Yes.
Our current grocery budget is
$125 a week.
$125 a week in New York City. And we've been doing really on it.
Yeah,
I think
quite
we've
well.
dialed in on groceries.
Yes.
So how much can we actually save?
Well, there's some math involved in this, obviously, because the first week probably of July, we're going to be on our honeymoon anyway.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to be buying groceries. So that's,
$125 in the bank.
$125 already that we're not going to be spending, at least on groceries. And then once we get back, in truth, I feel like absolute maximum, we could probably cut down on $50 a week.
$50 a week off a $125 budget is super reasonable.
Yes.
So we'd be looking at $75 a week.
So what we're going to do differently is a little bit in my court. Kaylee also is really great at cooking a lot of things,
mm-hmm.
but I would say that I do the majority of the meal planning and the cooking in the household.
And she's also I'm good at throwing stuff together and making a good meal, and Shay is like the from scratch chef.
Yeah. Normally I do this occasionally for fun, but I am capable of making all of our own bread. I'm capable of making, jams and preserves from
mm-hmm.
scratch. I'm capable of, really going hard on okay, how far can we take this 5-pound bag of potatoes? So it's going to be a lot of rice and beans. A lot of buying dry beans and taking the time to soak them,
mm-hmm.
and making a lot of varieties of the same sort of rice and bean meals.
Delicious.
Yeah. This was at one point in my life, and certainly at one point in your life, the way that we were doing groceries all the time.
So this will be easy, I think.
So we are returning back to our roots and just sort of kind of reminding ourselves that we can do it and trying to make some more things from scratch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think we'll take some good things out of this one.
Yeah.
I think it'll be good for us to get into seeing how much of this can we keep and how much of it is not worth it to us.
Yeah, definitely.
So I think it'll be a good little check-in to be like, okay, we've been spending more on bread that we like to pick up from the store. Is it worth it to make it at home, or
mm-hmm.
was it too much effort to do consistently? Making the preserves and jam, all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And even me cooking more from scratch and cooking more from ingredient to end game instead of buying pre-made stuff is going to be... I think it'll be good for me to get back to my roots.
Yeah.
Where's the leftover money going from the grocery budget that we do not spend?
Everybody say it all together.
Student loans. It's going to the student loans.
Yes.
Remember what we said before about everything going to the student loans?
Yeah.
It's that again. August. The month of August. This is going to be a tough one because all we have to put towards this goal is another
2 extra paychecks.
Another double paycheck. And so in a similar fashion to bumping up Shay's Roth IRA with our double paycheck month, we've decided to do the same for mine.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. You may be asking yourself, what about Shay's Roth IRA? Where were you a few months ago when we were talking about the other thing? Where to get hers? And in a similar fashion, how will we save? Same way.
Yep.
Staying real close to the budget as much as we can, aligning to the numbers on the page so that way we can take the extra funds from these months and put it towards my Roth IRA, which we don't actively fund right now because, like I said, my 401k is beautifully matched. But it's, still nice to get money into it when we can.
Any, free money that we can get from compounding interest is great. And this is a good time to do that.
Yep.
Yeah.
100%. All right. September. September is a beautiful month in New York City. The weather's not cold yet, but it's not too hot anymore either. It's not too humid. So we figured this would be a perfect time to take advantage of the free and cheap date nights available to us in this city.
Absolutely.
Now, Shay, how the heck are we going to go on free dates?
Okay, so New York City has a unique situation where they are really good at providing free third spaces, at providing, free nights, at organizing free events, free movies in the park. Like, they do a lot for their residents, especially, that is free or very cost effective. And they have a marketing problem where they're really, really bad at letting people know about it.
So where are we going to find them?
We have a guy.
We have a
just
guy.
kidding.
His name is TikTok.
We have a guy. And we try our best to follow a lot of New York natives who, they're really great at posting content about these wonderful free things that New York City provides for their residents and visitors sometimes. And that's mostly how we're planning on doing this. We also, if I may.
You may.
We just got a library card at the Queen's Library System. And so now we also have access to...
They have so many movies, the library.
So many movies, so many wonderful books. So,
Library date.
Yeah. Library dates, 100%. Like a candlelit wine and book reading night sounds so nice.
Even if we spend way less money than we usually do on date night, I'm down with that too. So September is a gorgeous month in this city. So grabbing a sandwich down the road and taking it to the park and spending a day out in the park, and just there's lots of options and things that we can do that are things that we usually do, but then we usually supplement it with a fancy dinner that we maybe will skip. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. September is such a gorgeous time in New York City. Like if you want to visit, take it from us. September and October are the two best times to be
And it's my birthday, and you can buy me a drink because I won't have any date night money. Once we've saved all our date night money, where is the leftover money going to go?
Tell them, baby.
It's going to the student loans. I like how I'm yelling at you guys like you wrote the questions. I wrote the questions. All right. October. Getting into the holiday season. What should we do around the holiday season time? Maybe it's time for Christmas savings boost.
Yeah.
Now, you might ask, haven't we been saving for Christmas all year?
Yes, of course we have.
Of course we have. We've been saving. Well, hopefully. To be fair, it is January.
Just a little extra.
Hopefully by October we will have been saving all year. Technically, we have not saved anything for Christmas because it's January.
Yeah.
But we're going to before the end of the month, and we will be saving perpetually throughout. How will we save? The same way we said before. We're going to cut down a little bit in a lot of places and do the thing we said. We said. Now, this is not the trick here. Is that this is not a double, like an extra paycheck month.
Yeah.
There's no extra paycheck here. So it's just cutting and whatever's left over in our kind of fun spending date night, eating out.
But this is also going to be a work-heavy month, at least for me.
No,
Sorry.
I wasn't saying it wasn't possible.
Yeah.
I'm just saying we don't have the kind of cushion of, oh, look at us, we saved $500 by spending $400 of the extra paycheck,
Yeah.
We have to make sure that we're cutting back a little bit here and there to really make a little impact. Now, this is the one time that the answer to this question is going to be a little different. But what will we do with the extra funds that we save towards Christmas? Shay had a really wonderful idea, and I'm going to let her share that, and then I'll share what my initial idea was, because we haven't fully decided yet.
Oh, yes. So my initial thought was that the extra funds that we have here, we could probably put toward getting something a little bit on the nicer side for the members of Kaylee's immediate family for Christmas, because they are going to fly all the way across the country, and they're going to have to pay for lodging to be at our wedding, and we are incredibly grateful that they are willing to do that, so we want to reciprocate in a little way, and I thought that this might be a nice way to do it.
It is a really nice idea. I should have had that idea because it's my family, but she had it, which was That's why I'm marrying her. My initial idea was maybe we could do some kind of donation or like an angel tree kind of situation.
Which would also be
awesome. So we don't know yet. We'll decide. We'll see what the Christmas budget's looking like.
Yeah.
So then we're getting into the last 2 months of the year.
Yes.
And we've combined them into super challenge.
Super challenge.
November and December. And now November is going to give us a little bump because November for me is a 5 paycheck month.
Yes.
And what we're going to do is a 2-month, get a month ahead special edition challenge.
Yes.
Shay, why do we want to be a month ahead? And actually, you know what? Pause. Sorry. I set you up and then took you right down.
You did.
I'll set you up again, I promise.
Okay.
For people who aren't, YNAB crazed people like I am, getting a month ahead means that you are budgeting your current month's paychecks to next month's funds. So for us, it would mean that all the paychecks we received in January would be just right into February. January is already funded. We have all the money we need, and we're just funding the next month, and it's like a full month buffer. Now, why would we want to be a month ahead?
To help the mental health of those family members who maybe have a little bit of a YNAB addiction. That's the only reason.
That's not the reason at all. That's not the reason at all. You can't treat the craze, the YNAB craze, ma'am. And also, you think I'm still not going to be clicking around and looking at it all the time? I am.
Yes. The reason that we especially want to do this is because we are pretty good at staying within the budgets we've set for ourselves for the whole month. And when we have overspending, it's usually because we haven't fully funded the categories through the end of the month.
Mm-hmm.
And so the reason that we want to do this, that we want to get a month ahead, is that we're not allocating money that we technically haven't made yet to purchases that we're making right now.
Mm-hmm. And it's just like another layer to an emergency fund in a way too. It just gives you a little bit more of a buffer, and it makes us more comfortable and happy. So what changes will we make to get there?
Well, I'm going to be working my little butt off for the entire month of November and December. For reference, those of you who may not be familiar with the channel, I am currently in residence with an off-Broadway theater company, and so I have somewhat guaranteed employment throughout the year as an actor.
It's like variations. Every season they do a show, and she works for a lot, and then she's off for like a month, and then works a lot, and then she's off for a month.
So November and December are like the months where my work for the theater is the most intense, because I am in the beginning of November closing the fall show, starting rehearsals congruently for the Christmas show, and then running the Christmas show all the way through the end of December. So it's very busy, and so I'll be busy working and not
making stacks.
Making stacks and not spending as many discretionary funds just because I don't have the time to.
Yeah, and so I think it'll mean it's going to be a lot of packing lunches. It's going to be a lot of just planning ahead, and maybe we take some of those things that we used in the grocery challenge and just doing a lot of little things, because getting a month ahead is very expensive.
It is.
So this is going to be a heavy lift. That's why we spread it across 2 months.
Yes.
And you know what? We may still not get all the way there.
No. But however much closer we get,
we will be very, very happy.
It's going to be awesome.
And now the age-old question. If you're a YNAB fan like I am, and you've seen it in the Facebook groups, the Reddit groups, the email chains, the YouTube comments, you want to budget into next month or make a next month category?
I'm not familiar with the depth of this debate because I am not the person in the household that is all about YNAB.
That's Giles.
Giles is the one who's really addicted. In my opinion, I would rather budget into next month and start allocating money to the stuff that we already have, especially because that's already the tactic that we use for rent. Mm-hmm. And we have a category that is slush fund. Mm-hmm. We've already got that. We're already setting aside money for it occasionally, whenever we can, whenever there's a little bit of extra money. And so both of those things to me indicate that, at least for us, it makes more sense to just budget into the next month rather than having a separate category that is for next month.
Yeah, I think I will be much more on board with that idea when we have curbed our little overspending problem. Because overspending in the current month when you have money budgeted in the next month it doesn't confuse YNAB, it breaks your budget because you've broken your budget. So I think that'll be a real telltale sign that we really got things on lock if we're able to maintain that.
Okay. See, I didn't know that bit. So maybe if we're still dealing with overspending occasionally.
You know what? I don't think we will be, though, because that's the point, getting a month ahead.
Yeah.
So those are all our challenges for the year. So we will make videos throughout the year, checking in. If there's any challenges you're most excited to see us work our way through and you want to see more content around those specifically, let us know in advance. And we can make more videos throughout the month on how those are going. Otherwise, it'll just kind of be like, we'll talk about it on our weekly budget videos, of course, and then we'll do a big wrap up about how the whole thing went at the end of the month. I'm feeling excited about these.
I'm feeling excited and nervous about these.
Why are you feeling nervous?
I have never done anything like this before. You know, I was living on a very, very tight budget, and this is also not the way that my family has ever worked with money, operated with money. That's just not something that I ever grew up doing, is like challenging myself to spend less unless it was an emergency. And so I am excited to get a little bit of an extra leg up on a lot of these savings goals that we have, and to be switching themes every month and like really paying attention to our finances in a different way and like approaching it in a way that feels a lot more dynamic than what we were doing last year. I'm excited for that. And I'm nervous because I don't want to get caught up in a scarcity mindset over a challenge that is fun but arbitrary. So that is why I am both excited and nervous.
I think that's super fair.
Yeah.
I am excited to see what impact we can have on those savings goals. I'm excited to see how well our systems hold up to us, like pushing them a little bit.
Yeah.
And I think this is going to make us both feel more active and engaged in the ongoing progress. Whereas last year it felt like we were measuring, but it was less us doing things differently and us just kind of like following the path. So this way we can see like what things really work and what things don't really work, and where do we want to lean in, and where can we maybe like not worry about that. I
think that we're definitely you're gonna have to remind me that this is at the end of the day a game.
Yeah, it is fun.
That we're playing with each other.
There are challenges
and
for
the
fun.
Point is that it's supposed to be fun, and that this is, we've designed these as part of our year of abundance. And I know it can seem kind of counterintuitive that we're like tightening our belts in different ways, and that's part of our year of abundance. But we have a lot more power, I would say, with our funds right now than we have ever had in either of our lives. And so getting to play with that and getting to sort of, experiment with where that money does the most good and how we can kind of view the money we make in different ways. It's exciting, and it does make me feel like we are surrounded by abundance.
Yeah,
so
100%.
Yeah.
All right. So our next budget video is actually going to be on Saturday because I am in Seattle right now.
Yes.
Whoa. Hey, future Kaylee. Hope Seattle's fun.
That's so weird.
So we will see you on Saturday. Thanks for sticking with us.
Yeah.
I know this is a long one, but I am really looking forward to these goals, and I think it's going to be a super blast.
Yeah, I think this year's going to be a lot of fun.
This year's going to rule.
In terms of some good content.
Yeah, we freaking love this channel. Thank you so much. There's a million things in a pinned comment below, but first and foremost, just thanks for being here and watching. We'll see you very soon.
Yeah.
Have a good one.